Hey Longhorn families, today we're going to talk about odd and even numbers, and today I'm going to discuss how we can figure out whether a number is divisible by 2 or not. All right, so let's take a look at our TEEK snapshot and see what it is that the state of Texas actually wants us to do. So our TEEK is determine if a number is even or odd using divisibility rules, and this is a supporting standard. So we're going to discuss whether a number is just simply even or odd, and that's pretty simple to do when you relate to the fact of multiplication and division. All right, so I'm going to write down what numbers are odd, or at least considered odd, and what numbers are considered even. All right, so when we take a look, essentially we are just skip counting here. So we're going to always start out with 1 with a number that's odd, okay? Because any numbers that are even have a pair. They got to have somebody that go with it. And in this case, 1 does not have anybody. So you're going to skip the next number and go down to 3. All right. Now, if you were to skip 3, you would get 2. Or skip the number after 3, you get 5. Skip the number after 5, you get 7. Skip the number after 7, you get 9. And if you keep going into the teens, essentially you get something that looks somewhat similar to this. All right. So now looking at this, you can see 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and so forth and so on are all odd numbers. Now, with the numbers that are in the teens, just look at the ones place. It literally just repeats itself. So any number in the ones place that ends in one of the base numbers here, which is 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, this is what makes it odd. Okay? Now let's try even. So if I take a look at the even numbers here, I can see that I'm going to start before 1. Any number that ends in 0 is considered even. 0 is an even number. Even though some people may say 0 is nothing or it's considered nothing, 0 is actually an even number. So you're going to start with 0, skip 1, you go down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. All right, so it's fairly the same with our base numbers here. If you look in the ones place, all the numbers are repeating itself in the ones place. In what place? The ones place. Our base numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So any number that ends in one of these numbers is actually considered even. All right? And you want to know how I know that? Is because all of these numbers are just multiples of 2. Meaning if you were to look at a multiplication table, you would literally just see 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way down. These are all multiples of 2. And that's how I like to remember this. Multiples of 2. They're just multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 8. You can keep going. All right. So again, we're just looking at the ones place here. Now, the way I want to model this for you, I'm just going to give you a little model. So I'm going to model an even number here. If I was to model an even number, or I would say an odd number rather, if I was to model an odd number, that would look somewhat similar to this here. What's wrong with this? Well, this circle here has a friend, but does this circle have a friend? No, it doesn't. That's why it's odd, because there's always one odd person out. These two groups of friends want to go to the mall, but guess what? That last friend doesn't have anyone to take. This friend does, but this one doesn't. Let me model you, this is an odd. Let me model you a even number. Guess what? If I was to do an even, now everyone has a friend when they go to the mall. That's what makes this even here. So that's how I like to remember it. There's no odd one out. Somebody has a partner. Up here in odd, nobody has a partner. Well, one person at least is missing a partner. Okay? So essentially, if you were to add even plus odd, okay, let's try that. We're going to try that out here. So if I was going to add even plus odd. Let's take one even number, and the even number that I want to take is 4. And then I want to do an odd number, let's say 3. If you were to add an even and an odd number, what would your outcome be? What would the answer be? Would that be an even or an odd answer? That would be an odd answer. You see how our answer is 7? Okay. Now, if I were to add, let's say, an even plus an even number, even plus even. Let's see what our answer would be. We could simply take the numbers. I'm going to go with 2 and 6. 2 plus 6. All right. 2 plus 6 is what? 8. So is our answer even or odd? It's even. So even plus an even number will always be even. Okay. Or you could simply say, another example would be 14 plus 4. Okay, well, what's 14 plus 4? 18. Is our answer even or odd? Our answer is still even. These are both even numbers, right? Let's take another one here for an example. Let's do an odd plus an odd number and see what type of outcome that gets us. So I'm going to do odd plus odd. Okay, so if I were to add an odd plus an odd number, we'll do 1 and 3. Let's do that. 1 plus 3. These are both odd numbers. 1 plus 3 is what? 4. So that means our outcome was even. Okay, so this is just like a little fun way. I like to check my addition here, especially when I'm adding anything with odd and even numbers. Let's give you some examples of numbers here. We're just going to try some numbers out and see what we can do. So I want to take this number here. Open the marker. 369. Look in your ones place. Look in your ones place. What is my ones place number? 9, right? Is 9 odd or even? Remember, we look over here. Odd. 9 is what? Odd. So that means this number is odd because the digit in the ones place is odd. Let's try another number. I'm going to use a bigger number. Let's say 1,441. Look at your digit in the ones place once again. Is the digit in the ones place odd or even? The digit is odd. Okay? Let's take a look at this last number here. 44. Look at the digit in the ones place. Is the digit odd or even? It's even. You can do an even number with 44. That means everybody has somebody that they're, sharing with. So the way I like to remember this, even numbers are multiples of 2, especially in the ones place. Odd numbers, multiples 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. All right, so that is how you determine whether a number is even or odd. Remember, all you have to do is remember, can you divide 12 by 2? Will you still get an odd number? Yes, 12 divided by 2 is what? 6. 16 divided by 2 is what? 8. Okay. Can you divide 18 by 7? No, you cannot. You cannot divide 8. You cannot split 18 up into 7 because guess what? You're still going to be left with the odd number, which goes to show in order for a number to be even, it has to be divisible by 2.